السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. بعد, حياكم الله brothers and sisters in our program Lives of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'een. When we talk about the best generation, the generation of the companions radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, wallahi, you love them more and you respect them more. It is very important to know how was the life of the companions radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, because sometimes people think that wallahi they are not normal people, okay, so we cannot do exactly like what they did, and this is wrong way of thinking. No doubt they are human beings, yes, they are the best people, but after the prophets alayhi salatu wasalam, but they are a human being, so we should try to pray like them and to give charity like them, and we to fast like them, because they learn from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are talking about Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu ta'ala and his family. So we spoke about his wife Fatima, and also we spoke about his son Al-Hasan ibn Ali radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala said, if you notice, brothers and sisters, we mentioned that Abu Hurairah narrated a hadith about Al-Hasan, which means there is a strong love, strong relation between Abu Hurairah and the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala said, ما رأيت الحسن إلا فاضت عيني. Whenever I see Al-Hasan, immediately I cry. Subhanallah. Whenever I see him, immediately I cry. Why? Allahu A'lam, why? But maybe when he sees Al-Hasan radiyallahu ta'ala, he remembers the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Why? There is another narration that Anas radiyallahu ta'ala said, أشبه الناس برسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الحسن. لم يكن أحد أشبه من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الحسن. None resembled the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than Al-Hasan ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu did. So maybe Abu Hurairah was crying because when he sees Al-Hasan, immediately he remembers the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the death of the Prophet, and he starts to cry. So he mentioned that who was resembling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his shape is like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his grandson Al-Hasan. Subhanallah. Al-Hasan ibn Ali radiyallahu ta'ala, because he is his grandson. His grandsons, so this is normal that, subhanallah, sometimes you notice the person looks like his grandfather, not his father, or the girl looks like her grandmother, not the mother. Subhanallah, this is normal genetics. Subhanallah. So this is about Al-Hasan radiyallahu ta'ala. Another hadith that the Prophet that Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala an prayed Al-Asr one day. Then he went out the masjid walking, and he saw Al-Hasan radiyallahu ta'ala an playing. Then he carried him on his shoulders. Then he said, بأبي شبيه بالنبي ليس شبيها بعلي وعلي يضحك رضي الله تعالى عنهم أجمعين. Imagine this incident, brothers and sisters. Again, Abu Bakr offered the Asr Salah and then went out walking and saw Al-Hasan playing with the boys. He lifted him on his shoulders. He lifted Al-Hasan on his shoulders. How much was the age of Al-Hasan radiallahu at that time? His age about something between 7 and 9. Because when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, the age of Al-Hasan was about 7, and when Abu Bakr passed away, the age of Al-Hasan was about 9 or 9 and a half. So he was young boy, so he carried him. radiallahu ta'ala an, he lifted him on his shoulders and said, let my parents be sacrificed for your sake. You resemble the Prophet ﷺ and not Ali radiallahu ta'ala an. While Ali was smiling. Ali was there and he was smiling. Again, with the sisters. What is the meaning of this hadith? Okay, or what should we notice? The main thing here, the good relationship between Abu Bakr and the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yani his grandson Al-Hasan and his son-in-law Ali radiallahu ta'ala and his cousin. So he said that he looks like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He resembles the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not Ali. And Ali was there and smiling. Subhanallah. وَرَضِيَ ta'ala anhum ajma'in. Also we learn from this narration, brothers and sisters, that Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala was a very simple man. When he saw Al-Hasan playing with the boys, immediately he lifted him on his shoulders. He did not say, Wallahi, no, I am the leader of the Muslim Ummah. I should show people the angry face and I should not speak to the boys. No, he was very simple and humble. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He saw Al-Hasan, he took him, he lifted him on his shoulders, and he trying to make fun with Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. As simple as that, brothers and sisters. And he said, you resemble the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not your father. Subhanallah. And Ali was there smiling. And also, we can learn from this hadith, brothers and sisters, that let your children to play. This narration says that Al-Hasan was playing with the boys. So it is very important for your children to have social life. Sometimes some parents like to have their children at home. Don't go out, don't play with others, sit at home, I can provide you everything. But this is wrong. Why? Because your children should have some kind of social life. To play with others, to chat with others, to exchange the experiences. Why? To learn more from others. Another hadith about Al-Hasan ibn Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhuma in Bukhari. Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala said, I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on the minbar, on the pulpit, giving a talk. And Al-Hasan was with him radiallahu ta'ala an. He would turn to the people sometimes and turn to him sometimes. Look at Al-Hasan, look at people. Like that. Radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this son of mine is a leader or is a chief. And Allah may make peace between two large groups of Muslims through him. Allahu Akbar. This is a great virtue, or this is one of the great virtues for Al-Hasan ibn Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Allahu Akbar. And this is, one of the signs of the here. This is, subhanallah, like a miracle. Or one of the signs of the hereafter, that the Prophet ﷺ told us something about the future. It doesn't mean that the Prophet ﷺ knows the future by himself. Allah informs him, subhanahu wa ta'ala, or Allah reveals to him about the future. So what we learn from this hadith, brothers and sisters, that no problem for the sheikh, for the teacher, for the imam, during giving the lecture, that his son with him, or his grandson. As we mentioned here, his age was less than 8. So no problem that if you keep your son with you, maybe you are going to the masjid to give a lecture, or visiting some people in a university, in a school to give a lecture. So no problem if you keep your son or your grandson with you, sitting the same chair. Why? Because subhanAllah, the children, the young children, 4 years old, 5 years, don't realize that this is a lecture and I should sit there with people and I should listen to the teacher. Okay, what they know, this is my father or this is my grandfather. I do the same thing as at home. Subhanallah. So we notice here, the brothers and sisters, that the Prophet ﷺ was very, very normal. He did not shout his grandson Hassan. He did not tell anyone, take him away from me, I'm giving preaching you. He was very simple, and he was looking at him, sometimes at him, sometimes at people. Then he mentioned a hadith about him, and he said, Inna ibni hada sayyid, he's a leader or he's a chief, radiyallahu ta'ala. And he will make peace between two large groups of Muslims. Subhanallah. So this hadith tells us the importance, brothers and sisters, the importance of reconciling between people. If you know there is a fight between a husband and wife, maybe from your family, from your relatives, try to make peace between this couple. Or there is a fight between two brothers or two sisters or two friends. Try your best to solve the problem. And in Islam, subhanallah, it is allowed, it is an exception to lie. If you think that lie will make peace between these two people. This is very important. Lying is haram, not allowed in Islam. And this is one of the characteristics of hypocrites. إذا حدث كذب. When he speaks, the hypocrite, when he speaks, he lies. This is haram, to lie. But if your intention to reconcile between husband, wife, between two friends, two brothers, then it is allowed as an exception. The scholars, they gave the example. For example, this woman and this man, they are a couple, and they have a problem. So what you tell this wife, or this woman, wallahi, usually your husband talks very nice about you, always he's praising you, subhanallah. Actually, he's not praising his wife, but you are trying to say that to bring them back. And you go to the husband and you tell the husband, wallahi, mashallah, your wife is a good wife, always talking good about you. She says you are a good husband, this. Okay, so I lie in a way, it should be in a wise way, in a smart way, to bring them back. And subhanallah, the opposite. It is haram to speak the truth if speaking the truth can create a trouble. Like a namima, slandering. Maybe you are in a place and there is a backbiting. Someone is speaking bad about your friend. Then you go to your friend and you tell him, the other guy said this and that about you. This is haram. This is one of the major things. You spoke the truth, but it is haram. Why? Because this can create a big problem. Subhanallah. So it is allowed to lie in the first example, and in the second example, it is haram to tell the truth. Why? Because the Sharia always wants to bring people together. Sharia wants to spread peace. So back to the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ praised his grandson Al-Hassan. Why? Because he will make peace between two large groups. It is not only between two persons, two large groups of Muslims through him. And also we learn from this hadith that subhanallah, it is possible that the Muslims have some fights or disagreement, dispute. This can happen because we are human beings. Maybe sometimes there is a disagreement between me and my brother or my close friend or my wife. This is normal as a human being. It is difficult that you find you make people, all of them, to agree with you in everything. For sure you'll find people opposing you in a nice way or in a bad way. Also, we learn from this hadith, brothers and sisters, that it's allowed to praise the person. if you think this doesn't create a problem. And for that situation, the Prophet ﷺ praised Al-Hasan, his son, because he was young, and this will not make him arrogant or tyrant, never. Radiyallahu ta'ala an. And of course, we learn from this hadith that Al-Hasan radiyallahu ta'ala an is one of the people of paradise, and no doubt of that. Jazakumullah khair with the sisters. See you inshallah tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.